the engine and maybe add some stuff to it and make a little 3D game with it. I'm here with my nephew Chris.
Hi.
Hey. And I was really excited for Chris to be over here to do this episode, either this one or Diablo. I actually did the Diablo one without you, but I couldn't get Diablo running, so maybe when I get Diablo running, I'll
Is it Diablo 3 or
Diablo 1. Yeah, and we can look at what that one does if you want, but it really just doesn't really run. But with Irrlicht, I'm sure that we will be able to get this one to run because it's an open source program that we have here. So what I've done is I've gone to the Irrlicht website and I'm going to download one of the versions of the SDK. I'll probably just take this 1.84. We don't really want to try to use the nightly build because it might have some build error in it or problem or whatever. So I'm just going to use this 1.84. And SourceForge has a lot more ads on it than it ever used to. Wow, that's a lot more files than I thought. Maybe it's got the SVN, the source control history in it or something.
I think Diablo 1 is harder than the rest of them.
You know, while we're waiting for this to extract, I'll go ahead and open up the Diablo solution that we had from last time.
It didn't run?
No, it's missing some, or there's some kind of memory allocator that's not working correctly. And I think that somebody had done something with it, like to fix that, but I haven't had a chance to really research it. So here's what the source code for, oh wait, is it gonna, I thought I was signed in. Okay. I had the free version of Visual Studio, I thought, but apparently it didn't have a user created for me, which I thought it did. Okay. I might be compiling Irrlicht with code blocks today then. So I'm not going to try to mess with this thing right now. So there's different programs called IDEs for compiling code. And what I used last time and for the Diablo source code was this one called Visual Studio that's from Microsoft. But even though it's free, they want you to have an account, and I guess I got signed out of the account or something, and I don't know why it's not showing the default password or the password remember me thing on it or whatever. But there's another IDE that's free and open source called Code Blocks, and I can also compile Irrlicht with that one, so I'm going to do that. In fact, let's go ahead and open up Code Blocks. Okay, so this is Code Blocks. I've got a previous game engine I've been working on for a number of years, but it's not currently running or not currently building, so I'm going to make a new Irrlicht project. I don't know if I have to, okay, so this, I haven't actually used this project wizard before, in code blocks. When I started with Irrlicht, it was before this existed. So I'm not sure how it finds the files for Irrlicht. Hopefully it will. Let's see. So what do we want to call our project?
The Rise of the Dead.
All right, the Rise of the Dead. How about for the project name? Let's call it Rise of Dead. And please select Irrlicht's location. Okay. I am going to do something that you have to do a lot in programming, and I'm going to Google how to install this library. Because let's see, to install. Because what I'm trying to do here is I want to make sure that I put the Irrlicht file library, like the game engine files, in the right location. And it's been a while since I did that. So, okay. Code blocks without the wizard. Okay. Oops, I'm not trying to go to Facebook. No. Compile. Let's see. Okay, C-line is another ID which I also have. I think that one's installed too, but it might be simpler to just stick with code blocks for now. I was really hoping that I'd be able to use Visual Studio for this because I assume that Irrlicht has a Visual Studio project already in it, but it might have a one for it might have one for code blocks as well. So here's Visual Studio 132 GCC is going to be the code. Well, that's the output. Where is what I'm looking for here is where are the project files? Let's see. Sort by type. Okay, so there's Visual Studio projects. And okay, it has Irrlicht GCC, it's a code blocks project. Here we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this Irrlicht folder here. I'm going to take this from here and put it into our project folder that we made just now. Well, I don't know where it went. Okay. Oh, I see, because we haven't saved this yet. Oh.
Okay.
Wow, this thing is... Okay. Well, that was useless. Okay, I'll just put it in the top level with the documents. Actually, here, I'll do this. I'm going to make a folder. Well, I'm not going to make it there. I'm going to make it in here. Yeah, getting the initial setup of the source code for what you're trying to do is one of the hardest things about getting started with programming because there's so much manual setup. I've places that I've gone to work at, sometimes it's months before a programmer can be productive because of how primitive the tools or how complicated and how many manual steps there are for setting up a development environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is gonna call this the I'll call this code blocks, or I'll just call this projects. And then now, go here and create a new, well, project. Here we go, new project. Irrlicht project. Next. Okay, I'm going to call it Rise of Dead. And I'll put it in projects. Now, when I want to say select Irrlicht's location, here's the other thing I'm not sure about is whether how far deep into the folder hierarchy it's going to want that. Okay, so I'm going in here, here, here. Okay. Hopefully it's this top folder here. Guess we'll find out. Where Irrlicht was installed, unpacked. And include in lib. Okay, we've got the right folder.
Okay.
Okay, we got those things. Finish. Okay, Rise of Dead sources. And oh, that's cool. It comes with some example code already. Now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to open up file open project. I'm also going to open up the see. Here we go. So I'm going to open up the Irrlicht project. And where's that project? It's in source here. And you'd think it would be selected by default. Here we go. Okay, so what I've got here on this one is I can build for different targets on here. Now what I want to find out is which one I need to build on here. And to do that, I'm going to look at the linker settings. Okay, saying link libraries. But I'm still not sure if that's linking it statically or as a DLL. I guess we can just try building all or build let's try Win32 debug DLL. Let's build that one. So what it's doing here is these are the source files for the game engine. They're in C++. And the compiler is the IDE is sending each one of these files to the compiler to be compiled. And it produces a .o file, which is like an intermediate step. And then at the end, it's going to link them all together into a library. And what I'm looking for is for it to compile with no errors. Ideally, I wouldn't want to have warnings, but it's going to have some warnings. Oh, I should have made this. I wonder if I remember to put the settings for parallel builds. No, I did not. This would be a lot faster. Parallel.
Do you see the game as you're building it? Do you like see the game when you're adding stuff in, like walls or something?
To do that, you need an editor, and the editor really looks a lot like a game itself. If we used a newer game engine called like Unity, the game editor would be kind of like built into the process, I think. But I haven't used Unity. I got started with 3D programming before Unity was free, and so I learned a different set of game engine tools. I probably really should learn some newer ones, but at least with this one, I can actually build all the source code for it myself and understand how it all works. So, like on the game that I was working on, I basically made it to where editing the game was for the levels and stuff like that. It was basically like running the game engine and just with no score, basically. And that way you could see stuff because in the actual underlying stuff on the game here, it's all text, but it does stuff like let's find a good example. Let's see. Look for this guy. Here, terrain scene node. Here's a good example. So this would be something from that renders the terrain. And what you can see is that it actually is stuff like it textually says like clear these mesh buffers, which the terrain is made out of polygons, so it's actually data.
Oh, so like
it's like numbers.
You tell it what you want the world to look like, like in Minecraft.
It's kind of like the well, yeah, but it's kind of like the console mode scripts, like I guess like Gary's mod or something. You know how like you can get a console and you can type in the stuff. That's actually closer to what the real game engine coding is like. It's more like having thousands and thousands and thousands of cheat mode console stuff that you're entering, basically. Because even if you have a graphical editor for the game, it underlying it is still all of this text like this. Let's see. Okay, so the build finished, and it says the DLL worked. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build this one and see if this one runs. Or actually, let's see if it compiles. Okay. And it didn't like this. Why didn't it like this? Okay, I think it's expecting a different dimension to the unsigned in reference. Okay. So maybe it needs to be U32 here. Let's see. This wizard might be built for a yeah, there we go. So what I had to do there was the project wizard in code blocks was written for an older version of Irrlicht, and in the slightly newer version that I downloaded, they changed the window size dimensions from signed to unsigned integers so that you can't put negative numbers. So this right here, this 640 by 480 is saying what the dimensions of the window will be when we open it up. So if I run this, okay.
So you're basically like creating a character now?
Yeah. So here we've got the what this has done is loaded it. It's one of the Irrlicht examples, so it loaded a character file and loaded some animation.
But you can change how the person looks?
Somewhat, but you have to either have a 3D editing tool or you have to change parameters in the data. But what we can do is get one of the Irrlicht examples. In fact, I think...
Can you, like, pick your own character? Or does it give you your own?
Yeah, well, this only came with some sample ones, so you can actually make it have anything that you want.
Like like guns or weapons?
Yeah, you can do anything what you want, but you have to know how to do it, and you have to write the code to do it, and that's where it gets hard. So like here is all the assets that come with Irrlicht, like these images and
Some of
things.
these look like something off a Gmod.
Yeah, a lot of they might have both come from the same free sources or something.
So right now, you're gonna pick the like landscape.
Well, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the examples. Let's see if there's a particular example, and I think there's there's code blocks projects for the examples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a particular one of the examples that I'm looking for, and I think to do that I'm going to search for like a guide to what the Irrlicht examples are, because I can't remember which one is which. It's something like, maybe it's this one. Oops, I did not mean to grab all of those. Come on. Okay, there we go.
So that's like a mountainy.
Yeah, this might be the one that I'm looking for. But I don't know if it has a person on it. There's one in particular that has a person walking. Oh, we might be able to do something like this one.
Can you add like zombies and stuff?
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be, since we'll be limited today for the assets we already have. Let's see. Whoops. This one I'm not seeing where it sets up a like player controls. So let's see if this one. No. Maybe it's movement. Let's do number 7. It has collision detection. So what I'm going to do, so that's in here. I'm going to go back to code blocks and I'm going to add, I'm going to open that one too and compile it. And that way we can take the source code from it and use it for our game. What was it? Number 7. Okay, cool. Now let's I think that'll work. Maybe. Okay, select the driver we want. Let's see if if Direct 3D will work. It's not.
It's not typing the other.
Oh, it's not taking the entry here. Let's see why not. Okay. Yeah, I'll try running it like this. I'll change this to directly take the where does it choose the video mode? Okay. Instead of that, I'm going to say video, okay, I'll say that the driver type equals video EDT. Let's see if it'll take direct. Oh, great. You gotta love code blocks and IntelliSense crashes and every time you need it. Okay, this is get this from here. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm getting this special code that tells it what video mode to use. So it can use Microsoft's 3D graphics, or it can use this open standard code OpenGL, or it can use a software-based one. And since the driver choice thing that is what we're stuck on, I'm going to see if this one lets us go through. So let's go ahead and run this. And that did nothing. Okay. Maybe I need to compile Irrlicht with a different change. Well, I'm trying to set this. Okay, there we go. Let's set it to startup. I'm going to go ahead and build all of the outputs from this. So this is additional libraries that, or additional ways to compile the library. And I'm just going to let it build all of them and see if the example will work.
Maybe so it's basically building that?
Yeah, it's supposed to come up and
build
look
those
like
characters?
This. Yeah, it's supposed to come up and look like this if it runs. So what this is building is just the program. And then when the program runs, it's going to load files that describe where all the points are in the meshes for that. Okay, it's done yet.
I wonder if this is kind of how Minecraft was made.
Somewhat. It's very similar. Minecraft was written in a different computer language called Java. I think it was written in Java, but Minecraft for mobile, I think actually might be written in C++, which is what this is. But it doesn't use this game engine.
Mobile.
Yeah, Minecraft. I guess they wrote their own engine. I'm not sure. So there's in software.
They use Mojang.
Mojang. Okay. So, but they probably wrote that.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's different layers in software, and like the lowest level is the hardware drivers that run the video card, and then on top of that you have operating system provided layer for 3D like OpenGL or OpenGL or DirectX, and those modes you can use directly, but they're really hard to use just by themselves. So then you put a 3D engine on top of that manages like keeping track of where things are from frame to frame and stuff.
Oh, is that the crystal I gave you?
It is, yeah. This is the. See, what was it you were telling me? This is.
It's from Great Salt Plains.
Great Salt Plains, yeah. It's very cool. I didn't actually, when you first gave it to me, I didn't understand what it was. I didn't know where it came from or anything. It's pretty cool.
It's illegal to sell them.
Oh yeah?
Because you can only get them in two places. In Oklahoma and then somewhere in a different country.
Oh wow, so you had to go up there and get this yourself.
Yeah. You dig them.
Cool.
I was digging this one spot, and then I let my friend, that she didn't get any, I let her because I kept finding like handfuls. And I let her dig in my spot. She found a crystal in my spot like this big.
Oh, wow. That's what happens, right? I saw a picture on Facebook this morning or yesterday or something of when you were river sized and you were digging up a tree root and you were telling us you were digging a dinosaur bone up.
You know, we're both like dinosaurs when we were little.
Yeah.
Well, River still likes dinosaurs, and he's so little, so I don't know.
I don't know how much longer this thing's gonna run for. I thought it would be done already, but I guess it's got to link a lot of stuff. I guess in the meantime, we can look through this thing here. So collision example. Actually, we can look at the code on this. So the way this one differs from the other one that we loaded is that several things.
Oh, have you played Bodies Basics?
What is that?
It's this like horror game,
Mhm.
and it's like it looks like a school game. You can also ask your Twitch streamers because they probably know what it is. Bodies Basics. It's like not a high quality game. Do you got anybody on?
No, I guess not.
Oh, one viewer.
Oh yeah, I bet that might be us. I bet we're the one viewer right here.
Oh.
Yeah. Kids getting home or something from school. Well, no, it's 7 o'clock. I don't know what's going on over across the street.
I don't start school yet. At least. Yeah, the viewer probably is us.
Yeah. Actually, this page here will describe what's going on with this. So, what this is...
Someone just knock?
I don't hear anything.
Okay.
I think it's the neighbor in the garage. So what this is doing here is it's setting up the video driver, and the scene manager is like what has all the keeps track of all the characters in the scene, and then this Q3 level mesh, what it's doing is it's loading this file, and that's got a Quake level mesh in it.
How usually long are your streams? Like 5 minutes? Or?
Sometimes they're like 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours.
That's not that long.
Yeah.
Because most streamers stream for like 3 or 2 hours.
Well, the first couple of times I streamed for longer, like 2 or 3 hours, and then they've been getting shorter. Because if I'm trying to get something done and then it's not working out, sometimes I'll stop the stream early. But it all depends on how well things are going or how much more I've got to do. I kept starting the streams really late at night and then running until even later. Well, late for me, like 10 o'clock.
Not for me. This summer I used to stay up all night playing Code Gamma. They probably know what that is too if anybody's watching.
Yeah.
And you can build games like Minecraft. Did I tell you about that?
No, in Code Gamma.
After this, like I can show you.
Yeah.
You can play other people's games too. It's like a let me see if I can find my account on there. I'd have to type it in on there later.
Okay.
Unless you want to do it now.
We'll do it later.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering how long this is going to go on here. What is it building? Looks like it's building everything. Go to...
What if it's a really big place that's building?
Yeah, it's building something really big. Well, Irrlicht has a lot of different variations in how you can compile it for. And I think... Let's see, it's like... Well, this collision exe should have... Okay, that went there. That should all work. Now just...
Oh, for lunch, me and Deanna had nachos.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this to one called EDT. Okay, I got to go to... I'm going to change it to this one, because this one should for sure work. And then I'm going to see if it was able to create it or not. Oh, I can't do that though while it's building.
Oh. Oh, we had to throw away one of your avocados. It was bad.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what version is this building? Let's see.
I'll be back.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and stop this build, I think, in a minute, because I don't know if it's... Oh, it just finished. Okay. Let's see if we can run that example. Oh, but I can't because I don't have it selected. Oh, did I just... Oh, man. I just made it start again. Okay. That's the one I want to run. Let's see if the device was created. Okay, looks like the device was created. Let's continue. And
It's still not working.
well, it created. Oh, here we go. Hey, we just got it. Let me see if I can get. Oh, I'm trying to drag the window over there, but the mouse it captured the mouse cursor.
Oh.
Oh boy, there's no way to get out of this.
So they can't really see it right now.
Yeah, they can't see it, and I lost my keyboard access.
Oh, so you can't like move with the keyboard. You can't move.
There we go. Here, I'll.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Had to alt tab out of it.
Where did it go now?
It went underneath the code blocks window.
Okay.
So this console right here is showing. It loaded the textures and the files and stuff. So it loaded pictures for textures, yeah. And this is actually a pretty old game engine. Let's see if we can move around. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we got this ninja guy. We got a fairy.
I think you should fight that lizard and the ninja when the game comes out.
Okay, we should fight the lizard and the ninja.
Yeah.
Should we be this guy maybe?
Yes. Or no, I think you should be the lizard and fight the rest of them.
We should be the lizard?
Yeah, and then fight the rest of them.
Okay. I think I'm stuck. Huh.
Can you use your ASW?
No.
No, just the arrow keys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see if we can make the lizard move around. Actually, let's see if we can... You know, and what's funny is that was software rendering.
What's that?
That means it was actually, instead of using... It wasn't even using the 3D hardware. It was emulating... It was like basically running like an emulator. Even
So
though
it
it's on the
wasn't
PC.
using like the best it could of graphics?
Right.
So it would be better.
Yeah. Let's see if the... OpenGL target will work. Okay, here we go. The OpenGL target's working, and you can actually select stuff.
Oh, okay.
You see the triangles? That's where the target is.
So you can like select who you, like.
Yeah.
Okay. See if you can get him to move.
I don't know what the keys are. Let's find out. But actually, you know, I need to also check on Broadcaster Studio if it's actually able to record that, because it may be able to record the software one only or something. Okay, I still can't see it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. It seems to be recording it. Okay. Let's see what the keys are. And the way that we find that out is we got to go to the main loop. So this is, most games have a main loop, like a global loop that runs. So this starts here. It says, well, the device is running, and if the device, if the window's active, begin scene, draw. So what it's doing here is it's drawing everything here, and then it's gonna at some point it's gonna okay, it's getting the selection and it's doing the highlight, and somewhere it's going to be doing the controls. Oh, I know what it is. It's using an FPS scene node controller. So that is on our node. Instead of it being like custom control, it has like a canned set of control, like a set of controls you can just attach to our scene node. Like everything in the game is a scene node. So let's see if we can make the let's see, there's a ninja and there's a, I don't know what a Yodan is. That's probably the
little guy or the lizard.
That's probably the lizard. Yeah, I bet this one's the lizard. So let's do this.
Okay, so do we want to be the lizard?
Let's see if we can make the lizard move around. Or actually, maybe we should see where the where the camera is. Okay, camera.
Oh.
Let's go back up and see where the camera was defined. Camera. Okay. Camera scene node FPS. So if we want to change this to be a different one, instead of this one, we could make it have different. Because if we want to be able to move the
can you make it where you can use these?
Yeah, we could. I'd have to do that manually though.
No.
Let's see, add camera scene node FPS. Add camera scene node Maya. Well, the problem is that the problem is that the camera is already, it's like a first-person camera. And
so you can't change it from being like
first person? There's ways to make other cameras, but I don't know off the top of my head how to do that. But what we could do is we could make it to where the lizard like changes position based on our position. So let's see, camera scene.
So like how we're looking, he would look.
Yeah, or where to make it to where he'd move around as we move around.
Okay.
And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the main loop, and I'm gonna say here we say set position. Down there, I'm gonna do where do I need to do? This code's a little bit hard to modify or to add this stuff to because they didn't give a unique name to these different kinds of nodes. So right here, I'm gonna add a line that says auto lizard equals that. And what that's going to do is it's going to assign this into it, and then I'll be able to move them around. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say auto. So that's just the data type, and I'm saying auto because I don't want to have to find out what it is and type it out. I'm going to say auto camera get position, and then I'm going to say camera position just call it C. Then I'm going to say lizard dot, or lizard set. Oh, I just crashed the IntelliSense again, I think. Or maybe it can't do auto there. Maybe I'll do this one. Where is that? This code is all kind of jumbled up together, so it's a little bit hard to find. I'm going to change this one to, just so I can get the IntelliSense, I'm going to say vector. So the IntelliSense is when it pops up a menu showing what I can type. I'm going to call this vector 3df. Then I'm going to say lizard dash set position CP, but in order to be able to see him, I have to say I have to change. I have to update this position. So let's go here. Come on. Is it here? Yeah. Really? Okay.
Can you make more of like those ninja characters and stuff?
Oh yeah, I could easily add another character. Yeah. That might be easier than trying to change this, but actually let's just try making the lizard move. So let's say,
does he need to jump?
The lizard?
Yeah, does he need to jump really?
Nah, I mean I think I think you can jump with the FPS thing here, but let's see, P equals lizard get position. And then I'm gonna say, I'm kind of rusty with the Irrlicht stuff too, because it's been a while since I used it, so I'm not sure what the like how to easily change the vectors and stuff like that. So a vector is x, y, z. It's like the coordinates of where it is on the screen. And what I'm gonna do here,
there's a bunch of x, y, z.
Yeah, it's basically like trigonometry and math and stuff. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the. Here we go. Okay, I can do plus equals or minus equals of a value. That's what I want to do. So I'm just going to say plus equals. That should make it move slowly across the screen. It's going to move once with every frame. Oh, it didn't like that. Oh, I have to type it out. I guess I'm not using the. Let's see. Okay, let's give this a try.
Oh wait, you're a lizard. I think.
Oh, where'd the
You are
lizard?
the lizard.
Oh no! It actually moved too fast and it went away.
Oh.
Since it always starts on the other screen,
So are you going to be the lizard?
We could. So the problem is that.
Or are you gonna fight all of them and just be the.
Maybe I'll just be the
person you are right now.
Yeah, probably the person I am right now. See, the problem is that I would have to make it to where I'd have to either change the kind. See, look, the lizard's slowly floating. Oh wait, I can't. Here we go. It's not in the stream. Look at this. The lizard's slowly floating away.
Why is he floating?
Because what we did was we added 0.1 to all of the vectors.
So he can swim and stuff too.
Yeah. What we did was we added 0.1 to all of his position vector coordinates, including his height. So his height above the ground is slowly
Wait, can
rising.
you like go into the other rooms and see what it looks like in there?
Maybe.
Oh, you can.
Oh, hey, there's the lizard. He's still floating. This
How big is this place?
I don't know. It's loaded from a Quake 3 map, so it might be pretty decently sized. Let's see. Can we jump? What is the jump button?
It's not space.
You would think, but it's not. He's not jumping. Is it enter, shift? It's a creepy lack of a sky there.
Can you add a sky?
Yeah, we can. So let's see. I'm gonna. Can I do this? Oh, there we go. Alt F4 will close it.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go back to this one, and there's one of these. Where is it at? Oh, that's the Quake 3 map demo. Before we had the clip, we could have just used this one. Number 2. That's probably the one I wanted before, but let's get a map or a skybox. It might be under terrain or something.
What should the sky be?
This one here is a picture. We can download a different picture to use for it. But see, here's how it works. Node. Why is it doing that? Trying to figure out why they're putting the scene node into this thing here. Oh, it just turns the skybox on and off, or the sky dome on and off.
I'm gonna go get some watermelon.
Okay. What I'm looking for is I'll just talk to the live stream. What I'm looking for is where the skybox scene node is. Here we go. Where it's loaded. And I think that will work, and I don't need to modify or use that event receiver code there. So I'm going to add that up here where they add the scene nodes. I'll put it just right up here. And I'm going to give it its own scope so that it doesn't conflict with anything outside of it. Oh, I don't think it really declares much anyway. I don't know which one is going to get loaded here. Whether it's going to be the dome or the other one. Okay. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Looks like we have our skybox right here. I don't know which one it has loaded though. I don't know whether it's using the dome or whether it's using the skybox. It's probably got both. I don't know which one's on top. Looks pretty cool though. And there's our floating lizard. Let's see if there's a way up there. Oh, it fell down. Alright, I want to find out which image that's using. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to remove that one. See if it changes what it made. Or actually, I'll just change the sky dome. Oh, wait, hang on. Okay. Get texture. Okay. Okay, so it's got two different choices for the sky. So we loaded, this sky looks like this. That's using the sky box. And then if I re-enable this one right here, we get a sky dome. I'll go ahead and comment out this one so it doesn't run. But we can choose a different, we can get go online and choose a different picture too for the sky.
Oh, I like that cloud one.
Yeah. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. There's the sun. Okay, let's so with that lizard, what I was getting at with that is we made an offset for the position, and we are actually offsetting the X, Y, and the Z all together at once, and so that's why it was floating away. But if I do, let me go, where did I set that in here? In here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say core vector 3df. I'm going to say D for delta, and I'm going to give it 0.1 for the X, 0.1 for the Y, and then let's see, X, not sure whether Z is into the screen or Z is up. I'll try making it 0 on there and see if it stops them from floating. Nope. Now he's just not moving diagonally. Okay. So let's do that one. So Y must be up and X and Z must be into the screen. So let's try that. There we go. Okay, so well, he's still going up. Maybe X is up on these. Oh, you know what? Classic mistake. I changed, I set that up, but I didn't change that. So let's just do that. We'll just make him move off to the side on the X, in one direction on the X coordinate, because I know that's not up. Okay, so that P plus equals D, that's what it's doing is it's saying take his current position, add 1 to his X coordinate, and then put it back. And that makes him slowly move. Normally you would use something like an animator for this, but kind of a quick and dirty way is to just set the positions.
Okay, he's gone.
Oh, he must have gone into the wall or something. Maybe he went through the wall and then died.
Wait, they can die?
Or maybe he fell. Although actually he shouldn't fall because I don't think we have gravity enabled for anything else either. But instead of that, let's put a 0.1 on the Y. Let's see what that does.
Oh, he's flying away.
Yeah.
Fast too.
Okay, so that
straight up.
So I guess Y is up. All right. So let's do that on Z. Let's see where he goes.
Oh, he floats up. He's gone. Behind you. I saw him float up.
He went up?
Yeah. But he went like kind of like that way.
Huh. I wonder why it keeps not working. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure why he keeps floating up. Let's make him move a lot more slowly, though, so we at least have a chance to see where he's going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he went pretty fast.
Okay, he's going off to the side. Oh, he's going into a wall. Okay. So Z is into the wall. You can't see it on the live stream because it keeps opening on the other monitor. It's really frustrating. Yeah. So then let's do this. Let's do negative 0.2. Okay, that makes him go backwards. Okay, let's make him go forwards then.
Could there be jump scares in here?
Like stuff that jumps out at you?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then you have to fight it?
That would be cool.
Like a lizard just like comes out from the wall. And
yeah, maybe
like,
he
really
like
fast and then it stops and you have to fight it.
Yeah, maybe
he's
he like
up a little. He's growing.
Oh, I think he's just getting closer to us.
Oh, I thought he was growing.
It's like on Guardians of the Galaxy where he's like there's a little person on the tiny ship. No, like that's how perspective
that's when
works.
He dies. He's like.
Yeah, this must be all. It must be running through all the different animations. There's some way to like access the different animations on there, but I don't know how to do that.
We're gonna make this into like episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I think this is episode 4.
1.
Oh, but for the game, yeah, this would be episode 1 of this game.
I think the ninja needs a new dying move because he just goes backwards and forwards.
Yeah. So the way you would make different animations for something like this is there's different 3D modeling studios, and you load the file up in there and edit the file in the modeling
I think
studio.
the wizard should help you. Not the wizard.
The dwarf?
No, the person with wings.
The fairy?
Yeah, the fairy.
Look at this. This lizard is just going along here. Now, we have the collision detection between this and the mouse, but I'm wondering, let's see, what if we made...
Can you make the place any bigger with like doors that you can open and stuff?
For that, I'd have to have another program to edit the thing, edit the Quake 3 map that it has. But what we can do, I just realized, is instead of making the lizard go over, just kind of float around, we can, I think that we can like make the lizard like go towards the or appear at the place where the mouse is going. So let's do this. Let's say here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the here it says if we've selected a scene node with the intersection of on that. And I'm going to say set the position of the lizard to the highlighted scene node get position. So that way the lizard should appear. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good thing I gotta sleep in. Oh, he's still floating forward. Why does he only have one toe?
I don't know.
He has 2.
He's just drawn that way, I guess. Ah, look at this.
What?
See what's happening?
Oh, is he trying to fight everybody?
Well, he appears wherever we make that triangle go. Oh, it looks like it does look like they're fighting, doesn't it? Let's make him move a little bit faster again. I'll just move it like 1, 0. Yeah. Let's give him some random movements there.
Now he'll go wherever the triangle goes?
Yeah, he'll go wherever the triangle moves, but he'll try to get away too. See?
Not from that area.
Yeah.
Can I try?
Yeah.
So if I bring him up here, he should come here.
I think it's only if it's a one of the animated scene nodes like those. Yeah. You might be able to make him go in the sky though, but he'd probably just disappear.
Okay, I'm gonna let him go in the sky.
Just aim straight up, and oh no, it didn't do it. Okay. Oh, maybe it did make him go away. There he is.
Okay, I'm gonna let him go away, and then I'm gonna teleport him back here.
Okay.
Why does that ninja look black all of a sudden?
It's because of the lighting.
Oh yeah.
In fact, we can adjust that. I can give you a quick demonstration of how to change the lighting characteristics. Yeah, or we could add another scene node, a character up here somewhere or something, so that you could bring the lizard up here.
It's on move. Not so move. This is a pretty big place. Ladders.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, thank you.
Chris.
This is for Chris.
And you.
And me. Thank you.
You want a video?
Yeah. But we could probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Is that good, Chris?
Yeah.
Blast.
Yeah, that's what I usually get. He's teleported out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big place too. What if you can open the doors? Okay.
All right. Maybe by the time you come over again, we'll have more complex game engine working to where we can do some of those things you're asking about. See, because I actually had made a game engine built on top of this, on top of Irrlicht, and you could do stuff like make game objects and scene nodes and stuff more easily. Because if you wanted to box somewhere, you could just say box style, and it would just like put it there.
I'm gonna get my food.
Okay. All right, well, that was another episode of Compile Link Run. In this episode, we covered the Irrlicht thing. Hey, and Chris wants to say bye. Thank you, Chris. And we made we loaded a basic Quake 3 mesh, and we also showed how you configure Irrlicht with the code blocks IDE, more or less. I just basically downloaded it and set the project wizard to where it was extracted to, but there are code blocks projects inside of the Irrlicht folders, and by loading those, I was able to also compile the Irrlicht source itself with code blocks. Thanks for watching. Bye.